In chapter 440, Blackbeard says to Ace, "I'll finish off Straw Hat Luffy in Water 7 just ahead of here and deliver him to the world government myself." Blackbeard's original plan was to capture Luffy in order to trade him off for the Warlord title. But since Ace was able to get to him just before he met Luffy in Water 7, this never happened. So what if Ace and Blackbeard never encountered each other on Banaro Island and Blackbeard captured Luffy instead? This is what we will be looking at in today's video, and don't forget to like the video because it really does help make a difference in the algorithm. So in this alternate timeline, Blackbeard and Ace just barely miss each other. By the time Ace gets to Banaro Island, Blackbeard is already gone and has went to Water 7. Meanwhile, the Straw Hats are exhausted from their fight with CP9 and are resting in Water 7 while waiting for the 1000 Sunny to be built. In the manga, it took Frankie and the Galila workers 5 days to build the 1000 Sunny. In this alternate timeline, while the crew is waiting for their ship to be built, Blackbeard shows up. This would be the second encounter. The reason Blackbeard never captured Luffy in Jaya was because he didn't know what his bounty was at the time. Blackbeard's goal was to capture a pirate worth at least 100 million berries so he could prove his loyalty and strength to the world government. Upon learning that Luffy had a 100 million berry bounty, he immediately went after him, but it was too late because they had already gone to Skypiea. So this time Blackbeard doesn't let Luffy escape and he captures him in Water 7. The Blackbeard pirates easily defeat the Straw Hats. Since they've just had an intense battle, they are not at their full strength, and with the power of the Yami Yami no Mi, Blackbeard overpowers Luffy like he did with Ace. Now that Luffy has been beaten and taken, the rest of the Straw Hats are left to worry, and the news about Luffy's execution is spread in the newspaper. The Marines decide to hold a public execution for Luffy, just like Ace, because after Water 7, Luffy became a big deal as a pirate, and he also has a very famous father, similar to Ace. While Ace's father was Goldie Roger, the Pirate King, Luffy's father is Monkey D. Dragon, the leader of the Revolutionary Army and the most wanted man in the world. This connection to such a powerful figure is why the Marines would decide to hold a public execution for Luffy as well. Now that Luffy has been captured and is going to face a public execution, who exactly is going to come to save him? Well, we can obviously first say with certainty that the Straw Hats will be there, apart from Brook and Jinbei. Brook obviously wouldn't be there since they haven't met him yet because this happened in Water 7, and Jinbei wouldn't be there since Luffy doesn't meet him in Impel Down and he never frees him. The next group to come to Luffy's rescue is the Frankie family. Luffy got taken in Water 7 after having just helped them, so they would definitely come to his rescue. But now, what about Shanks? Would he step in to rescue Luffy as well? I don't believe he would, because Shanks made a bet on Luffy. I think he genuinely believes that Luffy is going to get to the One Piece. He is the one that Roger has been waiting for. This is the reason why Shanks doesn't intervene in Luffy's adventure. He wants to see if Luffy really is the person that is going to make it all the way to Laugh Tale. He wants to let fate decide. Yes, he did save him against the Sea Beast, but that was when Luffy was just a kid and he had just eaten the Hitonomi Model Nika. So he realized Luffy was the chosen one because the devil fruit chose him. So I think that Shanks wouldn't show up unless it got out of control like it did with Ace, and he would come to just end it. The next person is Dragon. Dragon is complicated because he is the leader of the Revolutionary Army. He's fighting for a bigger cause, overthrowing the world government. Coming to Luffy's rescue would put those plans at risk, potentially leading to heavy losses within the Revolutionary Army, a sacrifice Dragon might not be willing to make make even for his own son. But we have seen him come to Luffy's rescue in Lockdown, which is interestingly the only thing he has ever done so far in the manga, and this shows that he does care about Luffy. So knowing this, I think he would show up, but by himself, or bring some of the revolutionary members with him, but not all of them. Possibly Sabo would come along if he remembers that Luffy is his younger brother once he reads the newspaper about his public execution. Now onto Ace. He would definitely show up to save Luffy. Not only because Luffy is his younger brother, but because he would feel responsible for his execution since Ace didn't manage to get to Blackbeard in time. And Ace, being the commander of the 2nd Division of the Whitebeard Pirates, he would bring some of his men with him. Whitebeard wouldn't show up himself, and he would never send his whole fleet to save Luffy because he doesn't know him, but he would allow Ace to go and save him. And the final question we have to ask ourselves is, would the Garp stay put if Luffy was captured? We know that Garp didn't save Ace during Marineford, and he considered him his grandson just like Luffy, but he did let Luffy punch him so that he could go and save Ace. But Garp's bond with Luffy is even stronger because he is his biological grandson. However, Garp's loyalty to the Marines runs deep, as he believes they are the only force capable of maintaining peace in the world. So I don't think he would help out Luffy's friends and allies if it came to a war against the Marines. Just like he did with Ace, he wouldn't participate. But before it even comes to his public execution, I do believe Garp would secretly try to help Luffy escape during his imprisonment in Impel Down. Garp doesn't want to lose his position in the Marines, so it makes sense for him to try and let Luffy escape secretly before he is executed. The Frankie family, the Straw Hats, Ace and Dragon. These are the people that would come and save Luffy if he was captured by Blackbeard in Water 7 and given to the Marines to execute. And Garp would try to prevent the execution from even taking place. But if it did happen, and if a war did start, he would not leave the Marines and help him despite him desperately wanting to.